Xpeng's next budget EV is getting a global release. That's right, you could pick up this EV very soon and you are going to want this EV. Here's why. Hello and welcome back to the channel. So I'm very excited to introduce you guys today the Mona L03. That's right, the next super affordable EV in Xpeng's budget range. And I'm even more excited to let you guys know that this one right here will be having a global launch, 63 markets worldwide in the very near future. So yes, this is a Mona you will actually be able to buy. And you are going to want to consider this Mona if it arrives in your market. Why? Well, keep watching to find out. So as you may or may not know, the first vehicle in the Mona series was a sedan. It was still very practical, huge trunk, lots of second row space, and of course at a super low price, under 120,000 in the China market. And as a result, it's been the brand's best-selling vehicle for some time now. This one here might take that title from the first Mona. Why? Well, first things first, low stance, wide body, coupe SUV shape. More space, more practicality, more comfort. Coupe SUVs are big sellers, and this one, well, I don't think it's going to be an exception. So let's start at the front here. So things look quite familiar. We have this light signature, which is almost the same as the one on the previous Mona. So 400 LEDs in here. We also have an active intake here at the bottom. This car does have a BEV version and also will be available in an extended range electric vehicle setup. The hood does look quite familiar as well, although this one is perhaps a little bit more muscular than before. But as we move down the side, things start to get a little bit different. So we get frameless doors, we have frameless rear view mirrors. We saw these on the refreshed Mona, and definitely a sleeker profile than something like the Xpeng G6. We do have flush door handles, but as we know, China has banned electrically popping out handles, so these ones do have a mechanical release, so safety first, of course. And then of course we get to the back, we have this fastback silhouette which goes down into a ducktail spoiler here at the back. We have a long LED, 288 LEDs in there, and of course we have these blue lights on which suggests autonomous self-driving capabilities. Air inlets here either side. We have a big diffuser at the bottom, obviously to help with the drag coefficient. It reminds me a little bit of if you were to take the old Model Y rear and the new Model Y rear and kind of combine them together. What do you think of the rear of the L03? Make sure you let us know in the comments. In fact, this L03 was designed by a former Ferrari designer. I said former, they were not involved in the new Luce. In fact, some might say this budget EV actually looks nicer than that €500,000 EV. What do you think? Make sure you let us know in the comments. So let's talk practicality. And you're probably wondering, why am I standing at the front of an Xpeng? They're not really famous for their frunks. Sure, they have great trunk space, you know, folding rear seats, but frunks have never really been their thing. We've seen a couple in a few of their models, but nothing really too impressive. Well, now with this L03, things are changing. Voila, we have an Xpeng with a decent sized frunk. So this one here is 102 liters in the rear wheel drive model. That goes down to 69 liters for the all wheel drive version. And you're probably going to lose this in the range extended version. But all the same, Xpeng now just became that little bit more practical. One small thing to note about this frunk here is that it is the manual double pull on the lever inside to open it, and it is a manual close. I think we have to remember this is still a budget EV, and I think for most case scenarios this is not really a big issue. So things stay pretty practical as we come around to the back of the L03. So first thing, we will have the option of an electric tow hook. You will have to pay extra for that though. Secondly, the trunk. So first thing is the button, which is up here, which is nice. You haven't got to bend down to get the thing open. Inside, as of shooting, Xpeng did not reveal the size of this trunk. Looking at this, it doesn't really feel as big as the G6s. I'd guess around 450, 500 liters. So the L03 has been awarded a 5-star safety rating, not only in China, but also in Europe. That's a 5-star for the Ultra version, 4-star for the Plus version. While it is an SUV, it is a coupe SUV, so it does have a slightly slippier profile. So a decent drag coefficient and a quoted efficiency of 11.5 kilowatts per 100 kilometers, so a little bit worse than the Mona L03. Xpeng tend to be more conservative than other brands in terms of their quoted efficiency, so we can expect around this figure. The L03 will come in both pure electric and range extender versions. So that's 440 on the pure electric version. This is a WLTP range, and over 1,000 kilometers in the extended range electric vehicle. Again, WLTP. They're giving us WLTP figures today, which shows you this is a global model. So BEV, EREV, which one are you going for and why? Make sure you let us know in the comments. So inside the L03, Monas haven't typically had very inspiring interior, so let's have a look inside here. Well, we have a little bit more going on. We have this kind of water theme going on throughout, so this is kind of like a ripple which actually wraps around the whole of the front row. So it goes from the center across and in to the door, so this is actually quite a thoughtful design. This center unit kind of reminds me of the refreshed M03. We have some space down here to chuck your stuff, a single 50-watt wireless pad, your drinks, your storage unit there, kind of like pretty par for the course. We actually have a surprising amount of soft touch going on. We have some kind of faux suede at the top here. We got brushed metal speakers here, and we have our ambient lighting. The interior colors right now only come in light gray or dark gray, which is a little bit disappointing. We know we have all these vibrant exterior colors available. Inside, a little bit boring. 15.6 inch, 2.5K central screen, 26.8 inch heads up display. Front seats obviously have heating, ventilation, and a 14-point massage. This one does have zero gravity mode, but this will not be available on global models. One nice touch is they have these fixtures here. So here you could have your kind of phone holder or a camera, I don't know, a GoPro if you were doing some filming. There's actually one up here behind the rear view mirror as well. The steering wheel kind of looks like the one from the new P7, although it's been a little bit dumbed down, a little bit more friendly and round for the kind of like average consumer who's not too bothered about racing. It is my understanding that global versions of the L03 will actually get the addition of a driver's cluster, perhaps the same 8.8 inch one we saw on the P7 Plus, which I know many of you will appreciate. So good news for you lanky freaks out there like me is that the rear seats in this L03 are actually pretty good. So headroom is tight, but actually I can sit up perfectly straight in here, and legroom is great. So it's slightly more spacious than the back of a Tesla Model Y. We have this large sunroof here. Of course, this is UV blocking and sun blocking, but I do worry about these in the middle of summer. They do tend to let a lot of heat in. One cool thing is we actually have a little drawer underneath the seat here. There's 10 liters of space in there. That's nice. You're not going to believe this, but there's actually no fridge in this vehicle. Instead, we just have a single charging spot. Seats are perfectly comfortable, although I will say some of this stitching is not the best I've ever seen. Of course, we've got to remember budget EV. Same on the backs of the seats, very soft. We have a fixture there for putting our iPad or whatever we like. These are tinted as standard. And also we have this magnetic spots around the car. So this is a sunglasses holder. We can throw it up here, and then when we leave, we can take it with us. So this is a pretty cool addition. We get some cool little cargo hooks down here. These seats can recline up to 5 degrees, although it is done manually, so not very convenient. But all in all, a good amount of space and practicality back here. So the L03 will come with up to 3 of the brand's Turing AI chips. So that's 2,250 tops and VLA 2.0. I can't say for sure if this is going to be available in your market at the time of the vehicle's release, but hopefully it will be in the near future. But one important thing for you global audiences is this L03 is the first Chinese car to come with Google Maps built in. So that's native Google Maps. So the map in the car is Google. Is this a big deal for you? Make sure you let us know in the comments. So there will actually be a couple of things which are not available in the global versions, like zero gravity seats, continuous damping control suspension, a couple fewer colors, plus only the Plus and Ultra versions will be available for global customers. While I think overall the quality of the L03 is actually very good, there are some places which remind you this is still just a budget EV. For example, the upholstering on the seating is very basic. Here on these frameless doors, we can see the seals, we can see everything inside here. This doesn't look great. All the same, if we keep in mind the price point for this car, I don't think it will disappoint you. So the L03 is launching globally. You will be able to pick one up in your market soon. While you probably won't forget that this is a budget EV, it still offers a lot for the money. I'm confident it will be released at a very competitive price point. Definitely undercutting those G6s and Tesla Model Ys that have been released previously. And although it doesn't offer everything those cars offer, I think it offers just enough, not too much. So would you go for an L03? Not if, but when it arrives in your market. Make sure you let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a like and a subscribe. I'll see you next time.